Good morning. Let's see. So actually, I want to remember exactly what I changed. So I set up my environment. Oh, and we built a new. Shoot, I did forget. This is where I do need the build. What I have not done with this, it's like I built this, but I've not gone through and configured all the settings. Auto login we can change once we get stuff set up. Custom server address. Reflector URI, don't need to bother that. Review server URL, probably won't hit it, but just in case. No server password. Tutorial done. Use custom server. And a brand new use Steam update, which is in fact defaulting to 0. Oh, right, doesn't create the things for the user password until it's run. Actually, we should probably just get this stuff out of the way. Oh, and we should do use window mode. Is that a setting? Yeah. Oh, that's borderless, not... I mean, that's still useful, but it's not exactly... Oh. Well... That wasn't great window position either. Alright, so we got that in place. Oh. Well, he blocked Alt F4 and positioned the window off screen. How is this not one life? Oh, that's right. There's a escape to exit wasn't there. All right, now we should be able to settings, auto login, and yeah, full screen is the thing I missed. Okay. But actually, we will need to be here to run that program. Then, yeah, I can't get context menu here. Fine. So my last change. It's been longer since I worked on this than I thought. So that was a merge. This was doing with high objects. Yeah, this is a smaller change than I thought. I removed the height check from here. And And, it's not necessarily generalized to... Because I was thinking I had removed the checking for blocking objects. We actually do want to do that so we can... highlight objects that are behind so you can kind of mess around and see them. So what we might have to do... So this became all short objects. This just kind of became all objects then? I mean, this might have actually been the key thing. But there was... You know, what, I had a note. Disabled cannot interact with trees at all, cannot feed self, cannot see through objects. Selection of objects, cannot interact with trees at all. Disable resetting hit location. Disable short check in same. This is probably so. Allows selecting trees at base. Yeah. Good thing I kept notes. Resetting hit location on 3x3 objects. Disable short check in same cell. Right, so he was counting on the 3x3 loop to get the large objects that hit detect them. And there was apparently also a short check for same cell. So in the 3x3 loop, we want to allow interacting with sufficiently short objects. And I don't know exactly how tall a berry bush is. And this was, these colors are so terrible. On line 15.6 something. I think 680, wasn't it, actually? No. Well, okay, it was then. He's made a bunch of changes since then. Alright, so there's our object greater 0, and then min dist that hits, whatever that's about. We were worried about the already hit a short object. And this object is tall. And this is where he had adjusted Don't click through short behind short. I guess I should actually double check behavior in light of this change because I'm not sure exactly what it did. Build. Yeah, oh, okay. Thought maybe I should be doing it there. Alright, so we can still click behind trees, we can still click on trees. Where's a berry bush? Wait. Okay, this is a wild berry bush, not a domestic berry bush. Oh my gosh, we have so... Oh. It's actually specifically when you're standing on that tile. It's preferencing the character over the sprite, or the map tile. Interesting. Now, is that specific to the changes we made? Actually, so if I go update the live game, it's probably done beforehand, but you have to log in to get the update. Now we won't actually be logged in. We'll just update and relaunch. You can actually do custom server here, can't you? Okay, I guess you can't do selections. Or delete. And I should probably turn this off for a little bit. It will basically ignore that stuff. Wait, I'm dinging. I shouldn't be digging. I think it didn't save the custom server. Oh, yep, I just dropped a corpse on somebody. Oh, yeah, it actually says custom server up here. Okay. So where was that berry bush? Okay, so that did change the behavior of character versus that. We're gonna leave a lot of bodies down there, it seems like. So we've got 3 changes. I'm going to guess that it's looking at one of these flags to determine whether we've already encountered something. Alright, so I was originally thinking if it was a 3x3 loop, we could just make it a 1x2 loop for current cell and below cell. So this is a out of cell object. So I guess if it's a short object, we still want to do this. And this object is tall, because it was originally, no? Well, it's tall if it gets in this 3x3 loop at all. And we hit something. And what was our problem? Cannot interact with trees. At all. Right, because we need to check all these objects for the see-through. The feed self is... It's weird because it's a sprite, not a... You know, that's how I understand it's a moving character, not a map object. Get closest object part. Min dist that hits. Because the closest object? Ah, okay, here's the if tall. Now I might have to change this back because of berry bushes. But it looks like... Did he add that test? If it's a tall object, when I click through behind... Ah, now this is saying if we hit another object. And this object is a big object, then do the show through. Oh, also this is y greater than y. But this is for the show-through effect. We want to say if we hit an object, yes, this is the else case where it used to hit something. So we want to say oh yeah, you're actually this one. His brace style still confuses me. Else if, I guess he likes this. It's going to be essentially this kind of thing. So that's how he's defining short objects. I'm going to have to play with this to get berry bushes to work properly. And this might even be like cell D times 2 or times 1.5. And this is where we actually have to... Now you see, he was defining this as a hit. Whereas we were not defining this as a hit. And I'm not actually sure what that hit. I think I did that and then I had to do the other stuff. Anyway, this is potentially another opportunity to play with these things independently. Wait, why was there... oh, actually, this would be... Okay, yes, we need the brace for this one. XY, so I guess it would have been do that. The very wish of death. Yep. Oh. Okay, so I guess that is a small enough object. Now, okay. So we can still navigate through trees. Oh, there's another tree back there. I don't remember if I had actually found... Yeah, here's a big old swamp area. Oh, right. I did define this as a thing for there, but the path changes every time. Got a keypad, but it defines its per game stuff by the executable, and this has a version number in its path. Okay, so that was hitting the base of the tree, which is, you still need to be able to select the tree. So I mean, if they're really dense trees, we're still going to be hitting stumps. I mean, you're generally less likely to hit them. But if we're working on a berry bush, we can still water it and eat from it. Okay, cool. That probably works. Yeah. Should work for all the other small-ish objects. So, and berry bushes are really the big ones because you run across them so many and so often in towns. Yeah, it's... My custom branch might want to get a custom ignore file. Commit. Allow selection of overlapping objects if they are short, e.g. berry bushes. And since I've basically got my own patch here, so this is all nicely organized and all, but to actually minimize chance of collisions with any future changes, we want to say game source star.exe, game source, I guess I don't know. Are there any other like ICO files? RC ICO. These are apparently generated by something. Is there... There's an icon.o, so I don't want to do icon.anything. Start.ico, game source, actually, yep, he might have checked some XZs in, but I think in general, those are going to be outputs. And you can explicitly do the ones you want. I think ICO and RC appear to be outputs. Game source, log.text. You know what? Actually, how recent are these? So that's a bit old. I should just delete that. Path.text is a bit old. I should just delete that. Well, unless that's part of the build. I mean, log I can believe. Oh yeah, this is probably me doing path debugging. So I don't think that's an issue. It's an XZ. Game source settings. Definitely would not be a blanket. He has not ignored any setting objects. Is it possible that there are... Oops. Other, like, game source settings... No. Huh. But I know that there's stuff it generates at runtime. Now the server was actually a little bit of a failed build on this one. I never got Windows to work. One life server. Well, the icons should be taken care of. Server code version number. Scripts build that maybe. Oh, that stuff was being billed on here. Well, okay, we probably need that for the server itself, so... Yeah, that's very out of date. And then server settings... Last apocalypse number... Sequence number... Okay, notes is like completely my local file. Hey, Tana. Just doing a little code cleanup stuff here. Oh. I mean, well, maybe not build anything, but clearly build Windows is not checked in. And then game source settings. I don't know. Oh, no, that's game source settings. Maybe I was running it directly at one point. Counting on vsync. Yeah, not quite. I mean, although he's documented the protocol, I guess you know, in theory could have an alternate interfaces. And then the stuff that is like completely custom to my local environment, which is kind of what this is. Now, if anything, that one should be like a system config. Where do they put? There's a .git config. Alias amen. Don't have a browser for this yet. System default ignore. Or each line pattern format. No, we want global ignore. core.excludes file. All right. Or Windows git bash. Then we can go oh, it just touched that. Okay. Then we go dot git ignore here, and this would be syntactic cpp config file. Okay. And we did not save this. All right. Custom git ignore rules. And we're not changing anymore. All right, so now, and this might actually be a branch for a little bit. Diegetic. Well, let's make it easy to type. All right, so now we've got some research to do. And this is in two parts. One is how do I get the temperature of the character? And the other is how do I affect the drawing of the character based on that? We have to draw a temperature, draw a pause temp meter. To right of, this is actually the, temp arrows. Get arm holding parameters. Oh. Huh. Well, this is the place where it's drawing this kind of stuff. Info panel at bottom. Okay, that's blood. Curse, curse, curse. Curse points. Food capacity. Ah, heat. Current arrow heat. Our live object heat. Old arrows. Current arrow heat. O dot heat. This is type equals player update. Okay. This thing heat equals O dot heat. Is this still player update? Just harnessed from the server. Holding player update. Holding player update. Held yum. Yeah, okay. And then heat change. And current arrow heat. Change. This is drawing the arrow. Okay, so when we have a player object, it has a heat value. And based on the protocol, I think it actually is sending us heat values for everybody. Food, I'm not sure about. Only keep PUs, not about this player? Oh, maybe there is. It affect other players or map. Huh. Not about this player. Well, maybe it doesn't. No, I mean, this is still like player position and stuff, I think. There is some stuff about self, though. Talks about a held baby. And now I forgot what I was curious about. Oh, the big decode. No, we know heat ran across it. Facing... Or I should really just check the protocol document. Just ate and held yum. Yeah, I don't think it sends food. Anyway, where do we draw a player? Well, actually, that's going to affect animation, right? Fed by someone else. Eating sounds, play sound. No, not quite what I was looking for, I don't think. We finished eating, play sound now. It's all sound stuff. Okay, so I thought that might have been the like little chewing face you get sometimes. Add new anim. Existing eating. Oh, but that's just going to be a bunch of anims. We're going to have to do some clothing stuff, right? It's clothing change. Transition. Oh, this is so wide. Ground sound. New clothing, using sound. What's the clothing change? We need to know what they changed, though. All right, clothing pieces. Well, no, this is an update again, isn't it? Clothing by index. And their clothing, and what it contains. Add base object to live object set, all objects in grid. Where are we right now? Big functions where we are. Any sense of what this code is doing? Not really seeing... Oh, this is message processing, huh? Okay, well... get closest object part. That's rather click stuff. That's hit tests, hit clothing index, eat our clothing. This is mouse stuff, hit clothing index. Use on baby later. Draw object anim. Get empty clothing set. So if that handles clothing, get empty clothing set. Don't actually head until held object is done sliding into place. Behind closest arm. In object clothing, clothing contained. To go from a writing offset. Writable. Holding position. Writable object. Draw all but top layer of floor. Empty clothing set. Held pack. Held to draw on top. Flying object. Empty clothing set. Probably not a player. Empty clothing set. There's holding pause. Held object is done. Did I loop? So empty clothing set. Empty clothing set. I feel like we looped. In obj. Where's the loop? In object, current animation. Draw live object. Q. If draw rect person. Speaker position. Q of what? Yep, extra moving objects that fall in this row. Oh, because he has to sort through things to get the draw order right. Holding something not drawn yet. There's only one call to that function. And there's some extra speaker information. Okay, we have hide, we have out of range. We have a current pause, held by drop. Trails. Wiggle towards target. Action target tweak X twig Y. Wait, what's action target XY? Let's not target X not equal to target ID, then just set that. So well, then we go and do other things. Not equal to eating. Well, there's already some wiggle stuff in here. Interesting. Get XY random. What is this? Hunger slip wiggle. Fertile. Let's wiggle room. Wiggle room. Hunger slip wiggle. Let them bounce up and down. Wiggle towards target. Rider, an object, current speed, to target. Wiggle down a tiny bit. Offset. Pending action animation. Character wiggle. Action offset. Half wiggle max. Huh. Alright. What if we just said times 10 and tried to figure out what this is doing? What does it look like? That one. Did I open a window for that? Okay. Except this one needs to be back in build. Whoa! Oh, that's the little bounce when you do something. Okay, we know what that is now. Okay, so there is a provision to wiggle, 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 offset. This is in pending animation progress. Target where we're standing. So there is an X-dir and a Y-dir. I guess that is coming from the action direction. Action offset, pause, add, pause, action offset. Now I saw something, yeah, get XY random. Hey, Ubs. And we get back to our other bit. I need to find a better tag for that, I guess. Wiggle max, that'll work. So here we're adjusting our position. Pause equals. All right, so this is going to start our little code. So we want to get. Why is this X wiggle anyway? We'll call this shiver, get XY random. It'll probably look a little bit something like this. But less. A lot less. And get XY random. I'm assuming that's. something like that, and then something like that. And for now, we're just going to do it unconditionally. Oops. What didn't it like here? Unused variable. Oh, that actually caught a bug. Cool. Let's see how bad this is. That's not doing anything. Is pause not used? Unless something else is going on. Person pause equals pause. Compute held pause. So we know that changing wiggle max changes the action. Well, maybe I should try action and see if we're in some sort of conditional for that. No. Maybe I chose too small of a number? Let's just do something bigger. And I guess I might have to start printing some stuff out. Maybe I don't understand what these functions are doing. They look like they should be doing the right thing, but maybe they're not. And they look like they should do what I think they do. And one moment.
Piles and piles.
All right. Science time.
Or science.
Aww. The platform is, however, facing up and trying to balance itself to the floor.
Yeah.
Well, not all experiments are successful.
Hey, Nia, how's it going? Okay, perfect. No, baby! God damn it! I just can't keep a female character alive. What do I do? It's all these people. In doing carrot farms so far tonight, and a big part of that has been that this game's really goddamn overwhelming, and I just didn't know what I was doing. But there's a lot of
Okay, install this in the... Okay, I'm just gonna say... Do that. Rescue Mayors. Carry him... No. That's his bed. Okay. Rescue Mayors. Carry him to the bed in the mountain, basically.
But I'm the kind of person who likes to max out stats. Okay, so I must not assigned that one before, and this I messed up on. Okay, oh, we're not at full speed. There we go.
There's more behind me, is there? Damn. Got your art, bastard. What's wrong with you?
Oh.
Alright, welcome back. Figured it was good time to take a break anyway. Alright. So we are not getting any noticeable other action stuff. So what the heck's going on here? Action offset, action offset, action offset. We know this does something. And we know that changing this value changes the size of that wiggle. So probably this is not returning what I think it's returning. Oh, is this integer versus float? This might actually be a minor gems thing. Yep, there we go. Int tweaked hash 2D 1 over int max. Aren't integers. Wait. No, I thought no. Double. No, he had a thing that was like a pair. So is this just something that's seeded with 2 values? Oh, but it still returns a single value. Okay. We are in fractal noise. So we actually do need to get 2 of these. So I'm... Okay, yeah, offset is the linear offset. So, actually... Oh, we do need to get a seed, don't we? Nope. Get bounded random is in bounds. Bounded random might in fact be useful. Jenkins random source pathrand. All right, so we have a rand source. Well, there's a couple of rand sources. No, wasn't there? Ah, casing. Random bounded int. Yeah. Well, yeah, I found that, but I do... So I could definitely use that. Technically, that could affect other random things. I think the even random numbers, that didn't matter. So we want, I think, double. Well, whatever action offset is. Double pair, that's what I was thinking of. So we've got like I'm surprised you didn't actually complain about the add operation here. Or maybe I just didn't see the warning go by in this mess. Or maybe a double pair is sort of stored in something that he considers compatible. Okay, that's pretty bad. But we knew that we were overdoing it. Let's see if that's enough. We might also want to try and do something that's a little bit more like his wave that's interpolating between some random points, although that's going to get a lot harder to do. Because you need some sort of memory of target positions. Although we do want to do this in terms of heat at some point. So maybe like, well, that still seems way too much. Let's try and figure out what a maximum, and then we have to see how that holds up under, well heck, let's try an extreme here. Once reduced by temperature. I mean, that's actually kind of reasonable for a shiver. I mean, yeah, the only thing is I'd have to keep data somewhere. The other annoying thing, let's see, can I... Oh, actually, this doesn't actually test what I want to test yet. I need to be doing some few other things. Well, no, there's still the question of, is this in fact every player? Oh, you know what? We probably have to do either this or this. Okay, so it does apply to every player. Now, whether we have the heat for every player is another question. So, where is the reference to the object in obj? Oh, I need to understand what type of value is... Okay, it's assigned to our live object heat, but it's an M. Okay, so heat is a float. I guess I get a different way of looking at it. And actually, the current arrow, if we look at how that's used... Okay, pause X. Minus 0.5 times 120. So he's probably drawing its center and then however wide it is, which means that that appears to be a 0 to 1 value. This is a bounded either way. Yeah, 0 to 1 should be fine. Except that is... Ooh, yeah. We want... is it abs? In obj... No, wait. He was doing heat minus 0.5, which is what we want. Although shiver is eventually only going to apply when it's cold. Then we have to figure out what we do for... The much harder problem is how do you draw, like, sweat drops or something. Oh, yeah, I'd have to... It might take some doing to figure out how that's done. Okay, so right now this is... Oh, but we started out at perfect temperature. And it's dropping, it's dropping. So do we get a heat value for ourselves? I could try to look for a desert, see if it's actually just a small desert. I've forgotten if there was a bigger one around here somewhere. See if it's a sign problem right now. Yeah, I don't know if that's like a thing that's purely in like the animation system. Yeah, actually only one tile of desert is not that hot. I don't remember this map at all, really. Well, that's the wrong... I mean, we could try extreme cold. See if that gets it far enough. No, I feel like... Well, actually, that's 0.5, so that's at least cutting that in half. Yeah, so I might... Well, we definitely want to turn this up a little bit. And this could arguably be times 2 since we're doing 0.5. Effectively on there. Okay, we start off at perfect temperature. Oh! Might still be a little bit too much. But yeah, there was we were like getting like the rounding error of a pixel or something to that effect. So, there was an Arctic up here, right? It's actually kind of invisible while moving. Kind of works. Now, unfortunately, it's also going to apply to heat at the moment because we're not actually doing a direction test on that. Well, yeah, I mean, you know, this is all, you know, this sort of like outside thing. So this is one I might want to post on the forums and say, hey, Jason, what do you think about this? Maybe I should get it working. So right now, so she's in a perfect spot, but we'll have the same effect from heat. Oh, I can't actually get hot enough, I guess. There's not quite enough desert here, and I don't really have clothes. Here's a little bit more. Yeah, there's definitely some low-end rounding that I don't know if I can do anything about. All right, so now the other test. One of the things I'm not been sure about how the game currently handles. So get some place where it's going to be unambiguously on. You know, that is something I've kind of meaning to do to test out the auto run versus the roads a little bit. And I've just not gotten around to figuring out if I want to get that working on Windows or try to do a Linux virtual machine or... So many bodies. More than one Arctic guy. Oh. You do get the heat of other players. So that could end up being maybe slightly cheaty, I don't know. In that it gives more information than you had before. Now we would actually have to get to... Well, I mean, it could stand in Arctic and not Arctic. I don't know if you're going to be able to see a difference at that point. Yeah, I mean, even I can see the temp meter from here. That's not really a difference. Now, maybe we could do desert, non-desert, because that is going to be a noticeable change. Yeah. I should probably set up a virtual machine for it or something. Means I could run the server on the same system and stuff. Oh, yeah, this is actually too hot here. So we actually want a nice, like, corner tile. So yeah, you stopped. Ah, now what we don't have is player updates. So it's going to continue to show, oops, the position they last stopped at, which is how it worked before. So this is actually sort of unfortunate timing on this, but if somebody's just standing there, it's going to be inaccurate. And I don't know if, like, So if I get you to hot shivering, and then I stand right here. Oops, auto scrolls get me there. Then you should stop shivering. Now if I interact with this, then that's a player update. So yeah, as long as they're doing something. Yeah, I think for compiling stuff, I could have just used, like, Vagrant. But if we need to use, like, GUI tools, you need a full VM. So there is a little bit of a limit there, and I don't know if you necessarily want to be sending temperature updates to everybody. If for some reason this did become sort of a blessed feature, but... Plus I'd have to separate it out from all my other stuff. But yeah, that's... I wasn't sure if you would be getting temperature updates for other players. Alright, so this, so like shivering is going to strictly be a, if in obj heat less than 0.5, and he likes his brackets there. And quick smoke check on that. Now in theory, we could actually just do like a -1 here because we know it's negative. We know that code works, it's fine. Alright, so this we expect to work. And actually, I'm going to start getting cold just running over there. Alright, so we are shivering. This is the minor desert that isn't really getting all that hot. And then if we get hot... we should not be shivering. Yay! Alright, so that's actually a step. Yep. Alright, so you were saying there might have been something for crying. Stop crying. Different kind of temp. Age override set. Stop crying. Make 0-year-old unheld baby revert to crying age every time they speak. Crying age. Oh, I guess brand new babies cry and they can also cry under certain circumstances. Compute current age. Each time they speak. Temp age override. Age rate. If it's overriding, 5 seconds. Oh, age override is a specific age. Okay. Now, if it's set, false equals 0. So actually, you want to go to here, compute current age. But this doesn't help us with crying. Well, okay, compute current age. Well, this is a bunch of sprite positions. Oh, this is speakers. Handle our death. Age order. Don't play hunger sounds. Restore music. Check if we're about to move off the screen. Typing. Get closest object. I've been assuming it's allergies, but I guess how would I know if it's kind of allergy season? This is specifically our age. I think anybody can cry. They're a baby. Okay. Trying to pick up baby. Nope. Not what I was looking for. Alright, so there's an age in an in-obj. So we want to know about things related to age near here. Draw object anim. Yeah, so the crying stuff might be like the animations of a baby. Which means I'd have to get into some other stuff to figure that out. Yeah. It sounds like the crying is like it's an animation at a certain age. And as long as they're still small enough to fit that model, then you can revert to crying. Well, no, it also plays a... Well, no, sound can be in the data, right? Would that mean that's an object? So that's actually a one-life data thing. Not what I want, Windows, thanks. Those those objects are sprites. Well, it's going to be data. Oop. I know objects have names. Maybe character animations wouldn't have names. No. Oh, animations. Leg. Well, there's a leg left boot. Leg left bot. Maybe those are attachment points. Sound params. Oof. Yeah, those are probably attached to objects. So you would have to figure out... I mean, are there objects for characters? Because that would have to specify the age, right? If there's an age setting in animations and stuff. So that's a different kind of age. Cabbage, shredded cabbage. Scenes have age things in them. He's done a lot of scenes. Oof, and then we hit the ones. Objects, age range. So that would be like a 0-1 probably. Yeah. Well, then there's an age range 1.5 to... Oh. These are objects with multiple age ranges. There's a 10 to 9999. A player character, if it's really defining in that style. Well, no, Object 100 has a bunch of age ranges too. Huh. There's a 3 to 7, 7 to 15, 40 to 55, 15 to 40. Maybe a couple different qualities of the object at different ages, and then this thing... There is a... Well, there's two 55, not a 55 plus. But like 1 to 6. There's a 55 plus. Yeah, so that might be a player. But wow. Okay, 50 to 55. There's a lot of little definitions in here. This has to be a character. But we'd have to find, like, age range 107. 3 to 7, 7 to 15, 4 to 55, 15 to 40, -1, 10, -1, whatever that means, 17, 10, 1.5 to 6, 0 to 1.5. Oh, are these like parts? I wonder if these are like implicit indexes. So like parent 20 means this is the parent object of a little tree here. And then you have to know what sprite IDs are. Well, when we know something about sprites, right? Uh, 94, baby left leg. Oh. Wait. Are you doing a case-sensitive search on me? Acqui. Alright, baby mouth. Baby cry. Like kind of 80 to early 90. Do I even have a TGA viewer? Because this looks kind of like it's a bunch of individual drops. The way it's got positioned around. But they all have individual TGAs. Alright. So we're on... Offsite, one life data, sprites, 86 is the first one. Oh, got a preview. So that's the face. And then, yeah. No, it's only 391. There's like other things. And then we've got 4 different drops. Yeah, so probably if Jason were actually to do this, he would be able to implement this as object animations or transitions, or like he could define the sweating state in a similar way to baby cry. Although right now he's controlling this with temporary ages to trigger the baby cry animation. So I can probably go in, well, I guess I don't know how to go in and just draw a sprite. Or an image. What? No, I've drawn arrows before. I don't remember how, but I figured it out. So another question, does this perchance... How do you do emotes? No, it's not called emote. Happy mouth. So that's the sprite. Probably anything that references that does it by ID. Age range -1, -1. This is a... Oh, happy mouth. Yeah, so he defines objects. So like the right way to do this, and maybe there's even a way to do the shiver with animation system to apply some... Well, no, it does the wiggle encode. That's probably appropriate. But it appears that the sort of expected way to do this would be to define like the sweat sprite. And do we have any reference to this in here? Oh, right, this is the digested stuff. Emotion object. Oh, well, there's your emotion objects. Why is it triples? Is that like mouth, eyes? Cheek or something? Oh, actually, I could probably learn a lot about that by just finding the emotion words and comparing that. Emotion objects. So, yeah, that might be mouth, eyes, mouth, and cheeks. So these are overlay type things. Can't. Now read emotion objects. Emotions, emotions, emotions. Emotion.cpp. Get emotion index. Mark emotion live. Oh, yep, eye emote, mouth emote. Add base object to live object set. Greater than 0, greater than 0, greater than 0. What clears an emotion then? Oh, maybe they have animations that automatically expire? Oh, editor. Okay. Live object set. Base set of live. Will be auto-added as well. Display ID. All objects, well, they're holding and wearing. It contained clothing. Forms and grid. Huh. Oh, wait, and here's another, finalize live objects. What is the context of this? Clear live object set. Okay. First map load. Okay. So this goes through. Oh, no, this adds the base object because it does one for each emotion. No. Living life. Emote. Oh no, this is send to server. So player emote must. Oh. What's that? The decoded one? Okay. Get element. Current emote. Emote clear at time. If it's time, clear it. Set animation emotion. This is like extra special stuff here. Editor. Oh, is this minor gem stuff? Edit with Vim. What? Oh, no, I missed the braces here. Draw with emote. Well. Gotta love his little variables. Oh, in pack. Object animation pack. Draw object anim. Whoa, is this like actually eyes index? Oh, eyes index, mouth index. Game source animation bank. Well, emotions, I guess emotions are variable. So it makes, well, no, I mean, crying is still defined in the player. It means that it's defined per character. Huh, so what are you doing with this? Oh, emote eyes on top of eyes. Oh, so I guess there's this particular thing in the character that's defined as like eyes, mouth. Hmm. Eye emote. Main eyes offset. Eye emote. All the stuff. Only if there's a mouth to be replaced. Other emote on top of head. Does not happen for head index. Hmm. Well, actually, this is the kind of code we want to be looking at for this, I guess. What is this top-level function? Because this is like building up the character and displaying all their stuff. Which is a lot of little layers. Draw object anim. Oh, with an argument list a mile long. And the sad thing is that the proper way to do this would probably be to add another argument, the way things are set up. Which might be why where did I see? Oh, draw with emote. Might be why. Well, no, there's a draw. Outpack. In-pack. Oh, so this is like a packed up animation versus the... more stuff I wanted to touch. Or the more stuff than I wanted to touch. And actually, unfortunately, if I defined sweat as an emotion, you could even do /sweat to show like nervous or something. Well, because no, because I want this to be, actually, yes. Unlike cry and unlike emotions, we would like these to have some level of degree. You know, for instance, we were setting up the shiver to increase with how cold you were. Doesn't end up being a very extreme effect, but it hopefully will be something. So we might actually have to do this in code in order to vary the number or size of sweat drops in a programmatic way like that. Now, I don't know if this drawing code, well, it has an object ID, it might be able to go grab stuff. This does have an object ID. Get animation, get object, draw object. And then this is going and doing all of the close. No, this is something else. Something much simpler. No, did I skip over some stuff here? Where was draw object anim? Draw object anim does have the object ID. Of course, I'm assuming we're still in the same function here. Yeah, getting our clothing. And obj. So we could ask, well, and there's the question of, what's the heat of a generic object? Is it 0.5? Or are we going to have, like, shivering sheep and stuff? I thought, let's see, where have we actually seen... there was a buffalo over here, wasn't there? Bison. Okay, well, rabbits are just kind of animations. So, I'm a little bit torn on this. Because this is actually pretty cold. And I've got the food rate turned down, the hunger rate turned down on the servers for testing. But this is going to be a pretty standard state for like an Eve or somebody. So maybe I actually need to turn it down a little bit. And then, yeah, shoes. Object sprite rote. Invisible layer and unworn clothing. Clothing. So this would allow us to layer stuff below clothing. Probably actually going to be pretty close to emote level stuff. Mouth on top of head. Other emote on top of head. Shoes on top of feet. So yeah, I mean, if we do like face, and arguably since we're naked, we could do some body stuff. So we often be naked, although less often hot when naked, but yeah. So this is probably going to be a bigger thing than I want to get into right now. So, for sweat, we know that baby cry, I forget exactly where I ran across that. Baby cry is tears. Sprites 86 to like 91. Emote drawn in animation bank. Probably code, since we want to vary sweat with temperature. But that has the graphics for drops. Emote drawn in animation bank. And this is a specific way that he tends to use emote variables. All right. It's not committed stuff. So living life. Shiver. We arbitrarily chose this. And I probably want to play with this today to get a sense of how it feels, at least on one end. So if we're just running around in the world, okay, so it's hard to tell when running. So on one hand, you want this to be visible. On the other hand, that's a little distracting. It's going to be a little bit warmer. I wish there was more of a cutover. Oh, you know what I need to do? Since there's a point... Oh, that should get kind of hot. Where it simply becomes invisible. What I actually have to do this is turn this into more of a rate-based thing than a position delta-based. So it's like you shiver every once in a while when you're a little bit cold. And that won't be quite as epileptic. Yeah, because as soon as it starts working, it's just... So this is really more... And I mean, this is probably going to be about 1 pixel no matter what. Well, actually, heat is a float, isn't it? So we want to increase the chance. Yeah, maybe the shiver code would even come in handy when he adds coffee. All right, so if we are less than 0.5, shiver chance is going to be in obj heat times... if we want it to be an actual chance... Because as it gets colder and colder and colder, we're getting more and more likely. And then we say if rand source bounded int can we get other kinds of randoms? Random bounded double. It's actually I could have done this. Get random bounded double. Could probably have arranged this to do a straight up comparison with heat. Well, only one does when they're cold. One point oh, and then since we're saying this is a chance, and 1 is higher, less than shiver chance, then we do all this stuff. Oop. No, wait, that is that. Oh, forgot this line. And then this is something we could play with the mechanics of. Oh. So actually, let's try and figure out what just a little bit of shiver is. I don't know, because there are points in this where we don't shiver at all, so we have to always do that. Which means we don't get as necessarily the extremeness of it, but as we approach 0, we should be shivering every frame. Alright, so we will in fact get cold here. Yeah, I want a little bit of a different curve on that, I think. So that's good. Well, no, because this is like your standard state. We want this to reduce to a little bit. So we could pick into... yeah, I mean, I considered just seeing if I could do like a color effect or something. I don't think I don't know if the client has any information on tile heat. That it could like display the heat of a tile by itself. So we want... I don't have a good graphing. thing on here. So the issue here is that right now we've got a linear relationship. So the easy thing to do would be to, like, I think it's for 0 to 1, just squaring it gives you a nice curve. Either that or that, depending on how it works. Or I guess it could actually be this way. I'd have to think about that. Because on a graph you get something like this. We would like to get very, very occasional shivers. Yeah, that too. We don't want too much when we're sort of moderate, and I guess you need to play with which axis is which, I guess. So, and then that's, are we increasing heat or are we increasing coldness? As we get cold, we want to shiver more. And if we assume that this is baseline temperature, because we're only dealing with cold, we want really, really cold, but really, really shivery. Yeah, so I think this is the one we want. So not a whole lot here, and then at the extreme, we're still doing full shiver, and then a little bit less in your standard near it. So this right now is a 0 to 1 for that. Ruffalos, thank you for the host. Did you end up playing something else, or was it all XCOM? So yeah, Ruffalos is one of those people I hang out with a lot. I saw him doing XCOM earlier today. He regularly does Oni, Slay the Spire. Roxy's not included. Done a couple other things recently. I don't know if I'm not sure any of them. Oh, one of the Final Fantasies, doing randomizer runs. Finished with gold and tried some dailies. Okay. Oh, they've got daily challenges. Interesting. Alright, so the formula here is we've got 0 to 1. We want to reduce it. Since these are less than 1, I think squaring actually is the answer. So shiver chance. So do we affect the chance or do we affect the random? You're comparing them, so it kind of doesn't matter. I guess we could call picking a number on a curve. And having done all this work, it's a little bit easier to do that here. Now, two random numbers would actually have gotten a distribution, a center distribution, which I don't want. Well, we might end up doing something like this on the other side for the sweat. We'll have to see. Oh, and I don't know if you had a chance to look at it, but this is the I'm modding it right now, but this is the 1 hour 1 life game. So I'm in single player mode for testing stuff, but this is that game. So might be a little bit too much on the upper end. So much to generally reduce that chance. And if we get really cold, then we're shivering all the time. Nope, there's an animal. And yeah, okay, or another sprite. Either they don't do anything with temperature. We could use different code. Oop, got an egg. Or they have temperatures of exactly flat. So yeah, I mean, technically I'm a little bit cold. Dead on is perfect, which is fine. I could go with a little bit less at that stage of thing, I think. So actually, C has exponentiation, doesn't it? But I've forgotten. No, that's does it? Because there's also an XOR operator. Oh no, is it times? Or am I thinking of like Ruby? Yeah, okay. Middle token. Oh, no, it is. Okay, that's something different. The variable. It's a function. Okay. Ambiguous call to overloaded function. Oh, this is a double, so this is going to have to be a double then. For that very reason. I could actually just do times three times here, or multiply 3 times. Okay, that gets past this error check. No, we need the window where we can launch the program. Okay, baseline. Okay, pretty rare. Now I'm getting a few. I almost need some places where I can. Oop. Yeah, this is what I was talking about. Set up map. That's could be a couple of streams to get all that stuff set up. Okay, so extreme shivers till extreme. We'll need a GUI virtual machine. That should be just about right. I'm actually going to want some things near this to... It's a little bit cold. Yeah, that could work. No, we're actually still chilling down a little bit. That might still be too much as well. I hope I'm going the right direction with all my numbers here. Now, so our just standard wandering around temperature. I mean, the thing is, it actually is pretty cold. I was kind of hoping to reduce that a little bit. Well, I might have to stick with that for now and see if I can figure out sort of a better function for that. Because you got this whole situation where you do kind of want to hit full at full. And yeah, the problem is we're still getting pretty close to full here. So unless you do like a super extreme curve, but that's almost like an on-off. I mean, with a little bit of... I mean, so we could increase exponents. I don't actually have a real... I don't know of a good... There's a decent one on my OS X machine. I don't know if any good grapher on this. Yeah, it might just be that it actually is that cold. Now I think food loss actually is linear, although it almost feels... Well, I guess it's a rate of loss of food. I don't know. Anyway, I'd have to go get into the actual game's temperature math. So, don't want to do that right now. Diff, use chance to shiver instead of displacement distance. Alright, so I will try playing with that today. And then see how that works. And then perhaps next week we'll get back to poking at how do we draw some kind of sweat drops or something. Because this is like just doing position, held objects. I think this is probably all, yeah, gearing up to the draw object anim call with just all the parameters. Which I don't necessarily, I don't necessarily want to mess with the function calls just because of patch maintenance in the future. But anyway, it's about lunchtime for me, so I want to eat lunch and then come back and actually play the game today and, just kind of see what's going on. Try and practice teaching some people. See how the berry bush patch and, this much of shivering works out. So thanks for watching. Thanks to Thylos, Doug and Lick, Sturmius Leopard, Kuro Kitsune, Game Dev TV, Oseret Gaming, Haskin TV, Catnox, One Jellybean, Deadly Tacos, Directly Phased, Instant Speed Live, Ruffalos, and I think I just lost somebody in the reset there. Ned Mix Games, probably. It does like to refresh and totally reorder things on you. What do we have? Yep, it's about lunchtime for me. Alright, well, I don't always like to host into the same game, but it kind of works. I figure the 1 hour 1 life people often end up there anyway, but we can go say hi to Elika Blue Bear. I was actually kind of hanging out and chatting with her and sometimes having similar lives last week. So, yeah, if you're looking for someplace cool to hang out, that's someplace cool to hang out. Thanks for hanging out with me, and until next time.